Hey guys, it's Christina the Caregiver and the Woman on a Caregiver Recovery Journey. It is another day in our series of simplifying self-care and redefining self-care and how we care for ourselves while we are caring for our loved one and while we are on a caregiver recovery journey. Many times it's difficult to find time to do that. Many times it's difficult to think we're worth doing that. Many times it's difficult to prioritize ourselves because we're so busy either caring for the person that is our loved one or dealing with grief or some heavy emotions or who am I now that I'm not a caregiver if we're on a caregiving journey. So many of you have been following me on my ways to simplify self-care and finding a fun way to do that by using this deck. This is not a tarot deck. This is not anything I'm sponsored by. It's just a fun way for me to figure out self-care ideas. And today's card, let's see what today's card is. We're going to modify it too for our care journey or our caregiver recovery journey. Today's card is take a walk. Take a walk. Take a walk. Now, for my caregiving journey, a lot of times I just didn't have the energy to do that. I didn't have the time to do that. I didn't have the space to do that because I thought that taking a walk meant what it used to mean. It used to mean I had all the time in the world to go to a beautiful park or a beautiful hiking area or drive to beautiful nature area and do that or walk around the neighborhood. When you're caregiving, you are on call 24/7 many times, and you have many responsibilities on top of taking care of yourself, your family, and your loved one, and your job, right? So I had to simplify it. So taking a walk for me on my care journey it looked like sometimes taking a walk up and down the stairs at my house, or taking a walk where I would park 2 or 3 spots away further from the store than I would normally. Or when I was at hospital visits, I would, when my loved one was stable, when they were safe, and it wasn't rounds because I was waiting for the doctor, I would take a walk around the nurse's station a couple times. It doesn't need to be an epic walk. We are redefining how we care for ourselves. Our life is different now that we are caring for a loved one, and our life is different now that we're on a caregiver recovery journey. So it needs to be simplified. On a caregiver recovery journey, I was able to take those walks, but at first, the grief was really, really tough. My body was exhausted from being in fight or flight mode for so many years. And the thought of physically doing anything was just tough and confusing. And so I knew I wanted to be back in nature because that was something that I loved before my caregiver journey, but I couldn't decide where to go. And it had been 10 years since I had had time to go for a hike or walk or anything like that. So I created a jar. I went on to social media and I found easy local hikes or walks, and I wrote them all down on pieces of paper and I put them in a jar. And what I would do is I would shake the jar and I would pick one of the items and it would say a place that I could go for a walk or a hike. And it was so fun to see where the jar would take me because I was not able to make decisions all the time. They call it decision fatigue when we're constantly making all of these decisions, when we're constantly making heavy decisions when it comes to life or death situations. And that's literally what we were doing many times when we were caring for a loved one and questioning all the things we are making decisions on, right? So I was able to shake that up, find a beautiful place to go for a walk and do that. And I remember on my caregiver recovery journey, that first walk, I went and I didn't even care where I was walking. I was just, look at the trees, look at the water, listen to the birds. It was just, I felt so much freedom. It wasn't even about the walk. It was so healing to be able to do that. It was mentally healing. It was physically healing. It was spiritually healing. It was socially healing to be able to do that on my caregiver recovery journey. And I got to tell you, when I was on my caregiver journey, those times that I would actually leave the hospital room from being in there with my mom for 3 days straight, and I would take that little walk around the nurse's station, or I would go out front of the hospital, take a little walk to the front of the hospital, or a lot of times there is a chapel in the hospitals. I would take a walk to the chapel and I would spend some time in prayer, or take a walk to go, I don't know, the gift shop, wherever. Just those minutes would give me not only the physical break that I needed, but also the emotional and mental break that I needed. So on your caregiver journey, we're taking it simple. It can be a 30-second walk just around the nurse's station. On your caregiver recovery journey, it can just be a 30-second walk around your neighborhood that you've lived in for years, but you haven't done a walk there because you've been caring for a loved one. So today, whether it's 30 seconds on your caregiver journey, or whether it's an hour-long hike on your caregiver recovery journey and you've had to just throw names of places in a jar, take time for yourself, redefine it for your situation, what your normal is now. Take that walk. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is Christina, the caregiver, and the woman on a caregiver recovery journey. Make sure to like and follow and subscribe so you can walk with me as we go through this whole deck and find simple ways to care for ourselves and modify it for our caregiver or our caregiver recovery journey. Have a great day.